My sister-in-law's laugh cut through the bakery's hum like a knife through butter, sharp and careless, as she leaned over my meticulously crafted wedding cake and knocked it to the floor. The three-tiered masterpiece, adorned with delicate sugar roses, collapsed into a heap of frosting and betrayal, and with it my trust in her shattered. I'm Emily, a small-town baker with a heart too big for my own good. And this is the story of how I turned my anger into a reckoning, proving that even the sweetest souls can bite back. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. My wedding to Jake, my high school sweetheart, was a modest affair, planned with every penny we'd saved. The cake was my pride, a labor of love I'd spent weeks perfecting. Each swirl of icing, each petal was a promise of the life we'd build together. But Sarah, Jake's older sister, had other plans. She'd always been the family's golden child, with her designer bags and a smile that hid venom. When she accidentally tripped, sending my cake crashing, her apology was as hollow as her heart. "Oh, Emily, I'm so sorry," she cooed, her eyes glinting with something that wasn't remorse. The guests gasped, Jake froze, and I stood there, staring at the ruins of my dream, feeling the weight of her sabotage. Days later, the real blow landed. Jake and I had entrusted Sarah with our wedding gift money, $10,000 in cash and checksto deposit for us while we honeymooned. We returned to find our account empty. Sarah claimed she'd misplaced the money, her voice dripping with fake regret. But the truth rolled into our driveway a week later. A gleaming red sports car. A luxury model that screamed extravagance. Sarah had used our money, our futurito, by herself, a status symbol. She didn't even flinch when confronted, tossing her hair and saying, "You'll make more cakes, Emily. Don't be so dramatic." Jake, torn between his sister and me, begged for peace, but I felt a fire ignite inside me. This wasn't just about money or a cake. It was about respect, about family, about standing up to someone who thought they could trample over my life. For weeks I simmered. Sarah's betrayal gnawed at me, but I wasn't one for petty revenge. I baked, I smiled, I played the good wife while plotting something bigger, something that would hit her where it hurt most. Her pride. Sarah was throwing a lavish party to show off her new car, inviting everyone who mattered in our small town. It was her moment to shine, to bask in admiration. I decided it would be her moment to fall. The night of the party arrived, and I stood outside her sprawling mansion, the same one she'd bought with her tech bro husband's money. The air was thick with summer heat, and the glow of fairy lights spilled from her backyard. I wore a sleek black dress, my baker's hand steady despite the storm in my chest. In my bag was a USB drive, a secret weapon I'd spent weeks preparing. I wasn't just crashing her party, I was rewriting its story. Inside, the crowd buzzed with champagne flutes and fake laughter. Sarah held court in a silver gown, her new car parked ostentatiously on the lawn, a monument to her ego. She spotted me and smirked, assuming I'd come to grovel. "Emily, so glad you could make it," she purred, her voice laced with condescension. I smiled back, letting her think she'd won. The night was young, and my plan was just beginning. I mingled, blending into the crowd, my heart pounding as I waited for the right moment. Sarah's husband, Tom, had set up a massive projector for a slideshow of their perfect life. That's when I struck. I'd befriended their tech guy earlier, slipping him a sob story about wanting to surprise Sarah with a special tribute. He swapped my USB drive into the system, no questions asked. As the lights dimmed and the projector hummed to life, I held my breath. The screen flickered, and instead of Sarah's curated photos, a video played. It was a montage of her lies. Screenshots of bank transactions showing our gift money funneled into her car purchase, audio clips of her bragging to friends about teaching me a lesson, and the piece de resistance security footage from the bakery showing her deliberately pushing my cake to the floor. The crowd gasped, whispers rippling like wildfire. Sarah's face drained of color, her silver gown suddenly looking like a costume for a fraud. "Turn it off," she shrieked, lunging for the projector, but it was too late. The evidence was undeniable, and the town's elite, her so-called friends, stared at her with disgust. I stepped forward, my voice calm but cutting. "You thought you could ruin my wedding, steal my money, and walk away clean, Sarah. But I'm not invisible. Not anymore." The room was silent, every eye on us. Jake, standing by the bar, looked torn but didn't intervene. For once I didn't need him to. Sarah's mask cracked. She screamed at me, calling me jealous, petty, a nobody. But her words fell flat. The crowd was already turning away, their whispers now judgments. Her perfect image, the one she built on lies and our money, was crumbling. I didn't need to say another word. The truth had done the work for me. As I walked out, the night air felt lighter, the stars brighter. I'd expected to feel triumph, but instead I felt peace. This wasn't about revenge, it was about reclaiming my voice. Sarah's party continued, but it was a hollow affair, the guests slipping away one by one. By morning, the town was buzzing with the story of her downfall, and I was already back in my bakery, kneading dough, creating something new. Jake and I had a long talk that week. He apologized for not standing up to Sarah sooner, and I forgave him, not because I had to, but because I chose to. We rebuilt slowly, our trust stronger for it. Sarah, meanwhile, sold the car to pay us back, but the damage to her reputation was permanent. She moved away, unable to face the town's judgment. I didn't gloat, I didn't need to. I'd taken back what was mine, not just the money, but my dignity. Looking back, I learned something vital. Betrayal stings, but it also sharpens you. It forces you to decide who you are when the world pushes you down. I could have stayed the quiet baker, the good wife who let Sarah walk all over me. Instead, I chose to stand, to fight, to show the world that even a small-town girl with flour on her hands can bring a giant to her knees. My cakes are sweeter now. Each one a reminder that I'm more than my losses. And if anyone tries to wreck my work again, they'll find out just how fierce a baker's heart can be.